Subiaco is a town and comune in the Metropolitan City of Rome, in Lazio, central Italy, 40 kilometres from Tivoli alongside the river Aniene. It is mainly renowned as a tourist and religious resort for its sacred grotto in the medieval street, Benedict's Abbey, and for the Abbey of Santa Scholastica. At a time when several German monks had been assigned to the monastery, German printers established a printing press in the town. They printed the first books in Italy in the late 15th century. History. Among the first ancient settlers in the area were the Equi, an Italic people. In 304 BC they were conquered by the Romans, who introduced the civilization and took advantage of the waters of the Aniene River. The present name of the city comes from the artificial lakes of the luxurious villa that Emperor Nero had built. In Latin, sublaqueum means under the lake. The name was applied to the town that developed nearby. The biggest of the three Subiaco dams was the highest dam in the world until its destruction in 1305. After the fall of the Roman Empire, the villa and the town were abandoned, becoming almost forgotten ruins. When St.Benedict, at the age of 14, retired from the world and lived for 3 years in a cave above the river Aniene, he was supplied with the necessaries of life by a monk. Roman. From this grotto, St. Benedict developed the concepts and organization of the Benedictine order. He built 12 monasteries, including one at the grotto, and placed 12 monks in each. In 854 a record noted its renovation. In this year, Pope Leo IV is said to have consecrated an altar to St.Benedict and Scholastica and another to St. Sylvester. Another renovation took place in 1053 under Abbot Humbert of St. Scholastica. Abbot John V, created cardinal by Pope Gregory VII, made the grotto the terminus of a yearly procession, built a new road, and had the altars reconsecrated. In 1200 there was a community of 12, which Innocent III made a priory. John XXII in 1312 appointed a special abbot to the monks. A new road was built by the city in 1688. The sacred grotto is still a favorite pilgrimage. On October 27, 1909, Pius X granted a daily plenary indulgence to those who receive Holy Communion there and pray according to the intention of the Pope. The Abbey of St. Scholastica, located about 1.5 miles below the grotto, was built originally by St. Benedict about 520, and endowed by the Roman patricians, Tertullus and Equitius. The second abbot, St. Honoratus, changed the old monastery into a chapter room and built a new one, dedicating it to Sts. Cosmas and Damian. It was destroyed by the Lombards in 601 and abandoned for a century. By order of John VII, it was rebuilt by Abbot Stephen and consecrated to Saints Benedict and his sister, Scholastica. Demolished again in 840 by the Saracens and then in 981 by the Hungarians, it was rebuilt each time. Benedict VII consecrated the new church, and henceforth the abbey was dedicated to Santa Scholastica. In 1052, Leo IX came to Subiaco to settle various disputes and to correct abuses. A similar visit was made by Gregory VII. Special favor was shown by Pascal II, who took the abbey from the jurisdiction of the Bishop of Tivoli and made it an abbacy nullus. Its temporal welfare was also a care of the popes. Among others, Innocent III at his visit in 1203 increased the revenues of the abbey. With the decline of religious fervor, strife and dissension arose to such an extent that Abbot Bartholomew in 1364, by command of the Pope, had to dismiss some of the incorrigible monks and fill the places with religious from other monasteries. Numerous monks were brought in from Germany, and for many decades Subiaco was a center of German thrift, science, and art. Urban VI abolished the abbots for life, took away from the monks the right of election, and gave the administration and revenues to a member of the curia. The assignment of German monks to Subiaco attracted other Germans. The printers Swinheim and Panarts established a printing press in Subiaco and printed Donatus pro Parvulus, Lactantius and a Civitate Dei. Those were the first books to be printed in Italy. Pope Calixtus III, in 1455, gave the abbey in commendam to a cardinal. The first of these was the Spanish Cardinal Juan de Torquemada, and the second Rodrigo Borgia, who remodeled the castrum sublacens, once the summer resort of the popes, and made it the residence of the commendatory abbot. Many of these abbots cared little for the religious life of the monks and looked only for revenue. As an example, Pope Pio Colonna, Bishop of Rieti, commendatory abbot since 1506, squandered the goods of the abbey and gave the income to unworthy subjects. On complaint of the community, in 1510 Julius II readjusted matters and restored the monastic possessions. For spiritual benefit, a union had been made between Subiaco and the Abbey of Farfa, but it lasted a short time. In 1514, Subiaco joined the congregation of Santa Justina, whose abbot general was titular of St. Scholastica, while a cardinal remained commendatory abbot. Even after this union, there were quarrels between Subiaco and Farfa, Subiaco and Monte Cassino, essentially among the Germans and the Italians. After this, little is known from historical records about the abbey and the city until the 19th century. In 1798 to 1799 and 1810 to 1814, French troops under Napoleon entered the city, plundering the monasteries and the churches. In 1849 and 1867, Giuseppe Garibaldi conquered the city in his plan to destroy the temporal rule of the Pope and unify Italy. In 1870, the city became definitively part of the Regno d'Italia. In 1891, a Benedictine abbey founded earlier in western Arkansas, United States, changed its name to Subiaco as part of an effort to more closely align its teachings and practices to those of the famous abbeys of the Italian namesake. In the first years of the 20th century, the area was improved by national investment in infrastructure, with the connection to a railway, a hydroelectric plant and an aqueduct. Electricity was brought to the houses and a hospital was built. In World War II, Subiaco was bombed by Allied planes. Main sites, in addition to the two abbeys, including Abbey of Santa Scolastica, also noteworthy are Rocca Abbaziale, a massive medieval edifice largely rebuilt in the 16th and 17th centuries. Church of St. Francis holds notable paintings from the 15th and 16th centuries. The medieval St. Francis's Bridge, a fortified bridge featuring a span of 37 meters. The neoclassical churches of Sant'Andrea and Santa Maria della Valle. People: Lucrezia Borgia, Gina Lollobrigida, international film actress. Francesco Graziani, Italian international footballer.